Welcome to the Traffic Domination Podcast, where entrepreneurs come for traffic answers. And here are your hosts, Rob Reese and Wayne Crowe.
From an undisclosed location, this is Robert Reese. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Rob Reese here, along with the host with the most, Wayne, the man, Crowe. How's it going, my man? How you doing this week?
Awesome, mate. I don't recognize you with that hat on.
I know.
I think it's the first time I've seen you with that hat.
Listen, I think this is the first time I've recorded without a hat on, and I wear a hat mainly because of this, and for those who are only listening, I'm showing my big old bald spot. Listen, I used to have long flowing locks of hair. And then one day I'm sitting at my job in my desk in my cubicle, and one of my coworkers walked right on by me and he sticks his finger on top of my head. He's like, "Why do you still have long hair when you have none there?" As soon as he did that, I shaved my entire head, and that was it. I said, no more long hair, no more attempting to hide it. I didn't even know I was actually balding, and he was the person that pointed out the way he did, and I said, no more.
I have the opposite problem. I've got too much hair, and I get these funny little sticky out bits just on the side of my head that the barber has to cut round. He has to do a special kind of ninja chop to get rid of them.
I need your problem. I miss my hair. I'm thinking about doing those that surgery that like replants your hair from the nether regions and puts it on top. Listen. I know it's been a crazy couple of weeks for both yourself and myself. You're working on a product. I'm working on a product. You recently went to a marketing summit. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? I missed that. And I heard you made some real cool connections over there.
Yeah, it was awesome. That I didn't know what to expect because someone invited me. Weren't sure of any of the names or anyone going, so I thought I'll go because it's good to network and see what else is out there. And it absolutely blew my mind. It did, like the possibilities of what else is there. I met the Scribble team. They told me they were launching the product. I knew nothing about it, and of course that was watching them launch that was fantastic. Everything was just amazing.
That entire launch, man. Like I got invited on the launch to be an affiliate with it. And let me tell you, I have never seen a launch go as it did. What did they do? Like $800,000 in sales in 8 days? That's absolutely amazing. Amazing. Yeah. Those guys are, and there's a product, I won't say the name. I actually am a customer of the other product. It's very similar. It's, just as good. But the marketing behind it was phenomenal for Scribble. Phenomenal. These guys are what you call true blue marketers.
They were. You could see that, like they're saying they've done all this planning and they've done all this stuff, and you think, right, of course you have. And then they launch, and you see like the way they did everything, like. It was just, I can see I can see the work that's gone into this now. It was just amazing to watch. I'm not a launch. I don't follow product launches. I don't really promote any products, but I was like, damn, these guys have just nailed it. Like they got everything as right as they could.
It's really, really great. And I mean, to say the least that they went viral is an understatement. So those guys, I hope they put out a full case study. I'm assuming they're working on a case study on this product.
The good thing is they're awesome guys. Like I met them without kind of knowing anything about them, and I got on really well with both of them. One of them by the end of the seminar ended up calling me Dad for some reason. I think that was my nickname after a while. But they're brilliant guys, so they deserve the success. They worked hard, and they've just. It's like a lesson to everyone. I think every internet marketer out there. I think it's a kind of masterclass on how you got to do it and what you got to follow.
Yeah. I mean, this is a really great transition into the topic that we're going to be talking about, which is paid traffic, media buying, kind of the overarching umbrella of what it takes to actually have a long-lived career in our field. Because a lot of people, when they get involved with this kind of marketing, internet marketing, affiliate marketing, and you're kind of the newbie in the area and you've been sold a bill of goods, you think that free traffic is kind of the king of kings when it comes to how you get traffic, when in fact, unfortunately, for the most part, free traffic in the way that newbies think about free traffic is not a sustainable model. We can talk about people sharing your content by word of mouth, and unless you have a large scale of traffic doing that, you're not going to be able to see the numbers of where you're financially free and actually making a significant income in this business. And Wayne, you're kind of the guy to go to. This is why Traffic Domination podcast, the overall company Traffic Domination exists, is because we want to be able to master paid traffic. Now, obviously, when we say paid traffic, we're hoping that our efforts turn into profit from that paid traffic. That's the point of it, and thus it becomes free traffic. But there's a lot of moving parts, and I know myself enough that when I first started purchasing traffic, it was a very difficult task. It was something that either I was going to vendors for solo ads and I didn't know anything about purchasing solo ad. I thought all solo ad traffic was treated the same. So I just threw, 30, 40, 50 bucks, $100, and I would be throwing my money down the toilet in essence, because I didn't know how to either run the traffic or I didn't know the background on the person selling the traffic. And I got caught up in all of this. And then, of course, I tried my hand at like Google ads and Bing ads. And then all of a sudden, I got introduced to you, and really just what Traffic Domination opened up for me. I'm still a novice at media buying and all of that, but because of Traffic Domination, I've been able to up my game and really present myself in a little bit more of an educated light when it comes to purchasing. What do we first have to know first and foremost about purchasing traffic? And is all traffic that you purchase the same?
No, it's not. So the first thing you need to start off with, so I'm thinking more of solo ads and like from a beginner point of view. When you first start out, say you're in a company, and they give you 3 squeeze pages, all right? Yeah. And they say buy solo ads. That's what you need to do. So that's never going to work. That's hardly ever going to work. It can, but it doesn't last long, because you've got to optimize. What you actually have to do is optimize your own funnel around the traffic. Okay, so when I say optimize the funnel, I mean the squeeze page, I mean the sales page, I mean every other page, every other follow-up. When I buy a new traffic source, I literally sit there with, I've got one guy that does my click funnels, for example. I've got one guy that does, and we track everything. We track the whole funnel. We watch the traffic come in, then we'll change stuff and we'll optimize around the traffic. Now, every solo ad source, everyone builds their list slightly differently as well. I've got 2 lists. I've got what I call a normal solo ad list and a high quality list. The high quality list isn't on another solo ad vendor's list. It's built from multiple traffic methods. And I really look after that list, so I know it's fresh. I take subscribers off. I kind of treat them well. I want them to turn into sales. Okay. So if you're buying, for example, solo ads, you want to know what the solo ad vendor does. Too many people just hand over the money, give them a squeeze page, and that's the end of the transaction. They buy 100 clicks and expect to get rich. So the kind of next thing you've got to think about is you've got to have some kind of healthy budget. Okay, so in the beginning, you've got to think, and this is what I mean, this whiteboard here, I've gone through this a lot recently with some of the students is, before I even start a paid traffic source, I kind of use my experience to try and guess what's going to happen. Okay, so I try and guess what's going to happen. So that will tell me I might need to spend $2,000, let's say, or 2,000 clicks for solo ads, or even, you know, Bing and other things. I think, well, I've got to spend $2,000 to see if these results match. And then when that money's spent and we've kind of optimized, has it matched what we expected? If it has, brilliant. How do we scale it? If it's gone better, even better, let's scale it and blow it to the moon. If it's gone worse, what do we do about it? Can we improve it? Is it something we can actually prove, or do we just dump the thing and start again and start with a new traffic source? So not everything you try is going to work, especially when you're given a cookie cutter kind of thing and told just buy solo ads. That's kind of why solo ads exist, is because there's such an easy way to get access to traffic. But not all solo ads are equal. So that's the solo ad side of it.
Now you said something extremely interesting that really just struck a chord with me, because I remember in the beginning, that's kind of the route I was told, hey, buy solo ads. That's the easiest route to start getting traffic. But there's a lot of unknown things in that statement, buy solo ads, that are not picked up by a newbie, especially when you're engaging in affiliate marketing with products that are not your own. You mentioned optimizing. You mentioned things that you get to change here and there, and you're speaking from a product creator's perspective, right? Now, when it comes to somebody who has access to, let's say, a squeeze page and let's say a bridge page, and that's it, the actual sales page and the funnel doesn't belong to that individual, what can be done in order to really maximize their purchase when it comes to solo ads? Or is even solo ads a good option for that person?
So I can monetize pretty much any solo ad out there. Okay. There's not, I don't think there's many people, even solo ad vendors, that can monetize solo ads. Okay. That's the first thing. You can monetize solo ads, but it's took me a hell of a lot of testing, a hell of a lot of kind of underground hacks, if you like, and you get that by mixing with kind of decent people. So the first thing I'd say is change the offer. So too many people, okay, get stuck on, this is my favorite offer, or I've joined this program, this is what I've got to promote. No, it's not. There's tons of CPAs, there's tons of CPLs out there. Change the offer, because what happens with offers, okay, this is kind of when you're an affiliate marketer, especially in the solo ad, normal solo ad world, where there's a lot of repeat traffic, what you'll find is you'll find an offer that works. You might have to spend on 2,000 clicks, let's say, to find an offer that works. Then all of a sudden your EPC will be $1, and that'll go on for about 3 months, and you'll be loving it. You'll think, yes, I've made it. But then what happens is it starts to burn out. Okay, so you've got to think, right, I know this is going to burn out, so you have to separate some of your traffic to start split testing the next offers that come along. And too many people, you know, they've paid X amount of money to join this program, they're then completely attached to that program, and they need to become an internet marketer, like invest in themselves rather than the program, because programs, they do have their place. They teach people, especially beginners, they can bring them to a half decent level. They can earn your money, but when you're kind of like me, you don't get attached to anything. I don't promote a single kind of program. I used to, but not now. I kind of promote myself, and I know what I'm doing with traffic, so I'm not connected to any one thing, if that makes sense. If I see something working, then sure, I'll run traffic to it. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that is something that I don't hear people actually explain enough, which is one of the reasons why I love Traffic Domination, is because you actually teach people how to think more critically about their business when it comes to some of these regular practices that marketers, quote unquote, are teaching, because there is a bunch of nuance in this business. People end up buying a turnkey business, right? That's the old term of kind of a business in the box, right? They just kind of give you the entire funnel. They give you access to the entire funnel at 100% commissions, as if it's your own. Obviously, your face is still not attached to it, but you get access to a done for you turnkey business in a box business. And they say run a little bit of traffic and that's it. But then, when you're thinking about 11,000 units have been sold of this particular offer, you've got to think eventually, especially if it's in a niche that's connected to like a JV Zoo or a Warrior Plus, you're gonna burn out people really quick on those $7, $10, $19 offers, because everybody has seen it, unless there are new fresh people coming in. And of course, the promises are a little bit more elaborate. I'll use that term, that nice term. They're a little bit more elaborate in the promises that are made on the sales page, as opposed to, somebody who is like a John Crestani, engaged in affiliate CPA marketing, and that guy is making bazillion dollars online.
I love his stuff.
There's a different, I guess, category as well as quality of product. So those are all different things that you have to consider. And when you said, Wayne, that you have to test, sometimes testing is changing the front end offer that you're bringing people into the funnel with. And of course, sometimes it can be a very similar offer, but a different voice or a new voice saying it. That's going to make all the difference in the world to conversions, I'm noticing. And I've experienced that personally. So that in and of itself is pure gold, Wayne. Now, when you're talking about, solo ads, that's kind of the, like you said, the newbie approach to purchasing traffic. It's very easy. You simply say, hey, I want 100, 200 clicks, and there you go. Now, behind the solo ad purchase, what goes behind the scenes in order to actually build that list?
So it depends. There's always hacks and ways of doing things easier. There's the underground tactics. There's the things that are never discussed outside solo ads, the secrets, if you like. But the proper way to build a list would be product launches, would be media buys, would be email drops to places like Archemax. I'm sure you heard we've talked about Archemax quite a bit. You've got companies like Opt-in Intelligence you can use as well. There's all these different places. You learn what works. You learn, so a lot of people will try these things. They'll try Archemax once. I mean, it's not cheap. It's about $3,000 to do a full drop. So it's not cheap to do. And if it goes wrong, most people can't kind of handle that. They can't. So you've got to be able to go in and have that mindset of, well, I'm going to go in. If it doesn't work, I'm going to make it work because it works for other people. And of course, if you're going to do 4 drops, that's 12 grand. 4 full drops it's a lot of money. So you've got to have that kind of mentality towards it, towards building your list. So there's shortcuts, or there's a proper way to building a really nice list, which you feel proud of selling. And you need to know kind of paid traffic's evolving fast. It always will. I mean, Facebook, you think of AdWords like $100 cost per click. In some niches, it's massive. Facebook ads that'll probably end up going the same way. It's gone the same way, where costs will be driven up. So there's always ways. There's always little hacks and little techniques you can do to kind of stay ahead, and that's really important. When you think of something like Bing, a simple little traffic source like Bing, you find something that works, but what happens is people do their research. They just they think, hang on, this ad's been up for a little while. So they start copying, they look into what you do and they copy it. So you have to stay one step ahead, because it all comes down to, and this was at the Internet Marketing Summit, and I've heard this multiple times, Dina Holland done a fantastic slideshow, I've done a fantastic talk. It all comes down to who can pay the most per customer, but it doesn't come down just to that. It comes down to who's got the little tweaks that the other people can't find as well. Does that make sense? There's things on Bing we use that no one else uses. Other people will cotton on to them. So there's then kind of things that, and that's the beauty of working in a group.
Sure,
that you come up with these ideas.
That's why I love the program so much, Wayne. I don't mean to like be pitching it so much in the show, but because you're able to actually get into the nitty gritty. It's not like some type of $10 program where they're going to give you just some theory information, but there's actual practical direction that is being given when it comes to learning how to actually appropriately engage in purchasing traffic and media buys and things like that. Now, that's the thing I wanted to talk about lastly is media buys, because that's kind of a different approach from what I've heard. Or a little bit more advanced than solo ads. Give us a little breakdown on what the difference is, and really what the end user, the buyer, can expect as the difference between purchasing solo ad traffic and then doing media buying.
So it depends. Like, realistically, everything can be classed as media buying. Archemax is really a media buy. You see what I mean? So it depends what you classify, because pretty much everything in a way can be classed as media buying. There's different ways of doing that people in the outside world probably don't even realize. Like, you can go to, I don't want to give away too many secrets, but you can go to a company and say, hey, you're in my niche, you must have a big list, can I send an email drop? And they start charging differently as well. And these probably one of the things that work best for me and the guys I work with. But they don't charge. For example, that was John Cornetta that maybe 6-7 years ago that brought out the CPC model. Before that was CPM, whereas most companies still work on a CPM model. And then you got things like display ads. You got all these different things. So you need to what would media buys be for you? What would you class as a media buy?
Well, like a pay-per-click. Bing ads or Google ads or interstitial ads.
Yeah, I just call them PPC. So again, it comes down to, I don't use things like display ads that much. That's what I'm now getting into. I'm now starting to get into them probably January. AdWords, because I'm in the BizOp niche, January onwards, I'm planning to spread my wings into many niches. I've got this business model. This here, I got my team 2 days ago with this model. I've talked about this whiteboard many times now, but this model here, and this is one of the things I was talking about, these little hacks that you do. Like, this model can be applied, yeah, it's still there, it's just checking, can be applied to pretty much any niche. So I'm going into other niches, and then that means I'll be able to use display ads, pretty much any media buy, but probably not as much email drops. Does that make sense? So it's all about, it's going to be, I can use AdWords. I can get back into AdWords because I haven't used AdWords for BizOp yet. And one of my plans is for next year is to use AdWords for BizOp and then bring it into this plan. Then I can do I can do weight loss, I can do cryptocurrency, I'm going to any sweepstakes, you name a niche. I can literally apply this whole plan that can include every kind of purchase you can think of and monetize it, because it's got such a good back end. And it's all about the back end. So another thing. So let's imagine another thing I want to cover is lifetime value. Okay, this is something a lot of people do not know. So you think, most people seem to think they're going to make all the money on the front end. Okay, who own a product. Let's say you joined a program, an MLM program. Okay, you bought this traffic and you made about 80% back. Sometimes you've got to think outside the box, and I've done this with a few marketers recently and say, well, you've bought this traffic, you've got 80% back. Over 6 months, you've got to think, you might make 8% back in month 1, and then people kind of forget about the traffic they got after that. And it's like, well, why not sell it as solo ad traffic, because it's come from fresh sources, or you bought it from me, they've only seen your offer, they haven't seen many other offers. Why not sell that traffic to someone else? And that's kind of the way that you know, when you release a product and you work with JVs, that's kind of how it works. It's like a kind of like a solo ad in a way, but you monetize differently. You're using an affiliate scheme instead of a CPC model. So people need to think about lifetime value. When you think of that, that can really change your business. Obviously, then comes into play as cash flow problems, because if you make a direct return on the front end, we call it a zero funnel, or whatever you spend on traffic, you make back straight away. That's the ultimate goal, because then you can just exponentially grow. But there's certain traffic models where you can't make a return straight. And there's certain niches. For example, the personal development niche is really hard to monetize straight away. So you have to look at LTV. And if we go back to when we think, like I said earlier, what do I expect from this business model, from this niche or whatever?
Yeah.
You kind of know that PD is going to take longer to monetize. You've got to have more cash to put into it. Does that all make sense?
I think
too many newbies don't think like that. They don't try and plan because they haven't got the experience. They don't know what the figures roughly should be. So they don't know what a good squeeze page in that niche should do. They don't know a sales conversion rate based on the price and how good the product is. They can't string all the figures together. And when you get all those figures, you can think, well, if it didn't work, you can look at those figures and think, right, if I can get 5% extra opt-in rate, then this might become workable, because it affects all the other figures.
Sure.
Which comes back to track and everything.
Now, the last thing I want to touch on before we sign off here is, okay, I'm a brand newbie. Okay, I'm ready to purchase some traffic. I've done fairly enough homework to tell that the offer that I have is good for conversions. How much traffic should I start out with that is not going to break a newbie's bank? You know, they've got a full-time job already. They're just kind of starting out in the beginning. They don't have thousands of dollars to throw at traffic. What's a good system to follow if they have a decent converting offer in their hands? How long should their follow-up sequence be for that particular offer? And how long should they think to try to monetize whatever amount of people that they end up getting on their list?
Okay, so first, it depends on the traffic source. It really depends on, because solo ads will be very different from Bing. Bing, for example, is if you've got your offer, it's very hard to monetize it front end. You're better off building a list and selling from the list. That's the best way to sell an offer you're promoting. I've found from PPC in general is build a list, monetize it with an offer that works best with the traffic, which will be broad traffic. Let's talk make money online, general traffic. You find your offer at work, you get them on your list, and then you monetize them. And then people just want to promote that one main offer to them. Don't keep selling to them different offers. Okay, don't be afraid of selling them something else. Just because this is my offer, don't be afraid of selling them other things. So it depends. It depends on how much profit is in the product. So I'd probably think, right, how much am I willing to lose? If it's $50, let's say, you'd probably want to spend $150 to see if you get conversion. If you do, and then I'd work with the traffic provider on how you can increase it, because find a traffic provider who's willing to help you and's got the experience, because they might say, you know, that offer doesn't actually convert, or they might say, give me your email, I'll write emails, because it might take them a few email drops to fulfill your order and to keep it going. So when you find something that works, you'll want to know how they refresh their list, how often they refresh it. Can you keep sending this swipe, or can you keep sending a series of swipes so you can keep getting that traffic? Because most solo ad vendors, keep talking about solo ad vendors, but we'll find it very hard to keep fresh traffic coming through that's engaged and will buy, because it depends on the email. If you've ordered 200 clicks, they're going to send this one email that will get 200 clicks. But next time you want to make sure you don't get repeat visitors, but you want another fresh email with fresh subject line, fresh content to make more different people click. And you want to make sure they keep building their list. So you've got to make sure they've got the capacity as well to just keep sending it off, so you can gain some form of stability as well.
Interesting.
Because when you get something working, you want it to keep working. So there's no point going to someone with a list of 1,000 subscribers.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Good. Okay. So
I could keep going.
Yeah, I know you can keep going, but in order for everyone to get more premium information, you need to download the PDF in the description here.
Exactly.
It's
information in that
guide.
PDF. Yeah, it's awesome. Like, it took me a while to put together, and we plug it a lot, I know, but it will help people with just the way to think about traffic, to begin thinking about it. Not just about solo ads, but kind of they need to track, they need to optimize, they need to set aside some realistic budget. You know, it's a really good PDF, and a lot of people have downloaded it and shared it, and I get fantastic feedback from it as well.
You know, I've gone through it myself. I absolutely love it. It made a whole bunch of sense to me after the fact. And guys, you don't want to miss the information. It's completely free to you. Just go ahead and click the link that's in the description. It's a guide to buying solo ads. Okay. This is something that you definitely want to pick up. But Wayne, we are running out of time. Is there anything else? Any other golden goose nuggets? And if you guys are just listening, I'm kind of just playing with my goose nugget in the camera. But is there any other golden nuggets that you'd like to share with our listeners before we sign off?
The big thing, I think, is find someone you can really work with that understands traffic. That's the thing, someone you can work with. And don't be afraid of working with that person. Someone's not going to work with you. This is solo ads again, but they're not going to work with you if you only spend 100 clicks. Okay? Find someone you can really work with. I've worked with people for years now, the same people for years. They buy traffic every single day because they get the results, because they were committed. I've got one guy who gets phone calls. Okay, every day he gets phone calls. I can't say his name. He don't want me to share his name, but every day he gets phone calls, and he's optimized non-stop. He spent $40,000 just on optimization.
Wow.
So, but it's all coming back, if that makes sense. So he hasn't got $40,000, put it on the table. It's kind of, he makes money, reinvests it, and he's optimized for $40,000. So find someone you can work with, that you get on with, that you trust, and you know that they're talking about.
Yeah, it's so important to be able to trust and to be able to develop a relationship with the person, because if it works out well, guess what? Both of you will be making money, and this will be something that you can do over and over and over again. And
that's so important in anything. It's so important in anything. I'm sure you'll agree, Rob. Not just like with my some of my relationships I've got in paid traffic, in some of the ways I monetize. I've got relationships with them, and everything's based on relationships in this game.
That's right. That's right. So guys, please take this information and run with it, because there's a lot of information that we just gave you that you're not going to get anywhere else. I guarantee you're not going to get this anywhere else. So go ahead and download that free gift that we got for you guys in the description box below. But until next time, Wayne, Crowe, and Robert Reese signing off with Traffic Domination Podcast. We will see you next time.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.